Shalom, shalom. I'm going to start out this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of great millstone that rule well, that teach well, while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. And I also want to say shalom to the elect, which are the 144,000 men, the prophets, the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere and your children. Shalom. And in today's video, as you can read from the title, I'm going to read it. It says, a Harlem community activist detained by the ICE. And we understand what ICE is, part of Esau Edom's, basically the bounty hunters for Esau Edom coming down upon you so-called Jakes, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which makes up the biblical Hebrew Israelites. We seen them start off earlier this year when Trump got in office, coming after the Northern Kingdom, coming after the brothers, and the sisters of the northern tribes. Now we starting to see him crack down on you Jakes, man. And this is ultimately going to lead into Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. And I'm going to get that precept real quick. Bear with me. Right? I'm going to get Revelation 12 and 12. Right. Bear with me. Salakia. All right. And it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is come down unto you having great wrath, right? And that word wrath goes into extreme anger. Because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And that he does know. He knows he had a short time to root his earth in wickedness, man. He has a short time to oppress the Lord's true people, man. He knows all of that is coming to an end, man. And it's coming to an end soon. So with him knowing that, seeing him losing his grip of power and his things, his power structure that he once had over the earth, the Lord is slowly pulling that away from this devil. He's about to come down with that great wrath, man, because he know if he ain't got a lot of time, man. So, you're about to see him come down with that great wrath through his actions, man, through the laws he passed, through the legislations he's passing, through all of the things he's doing in his Congress, writing unrighteous decrees and things of that nature. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture talking about unrighteous decrees. Because we see this devil since DJT done got in office, he basically been writing a lot of unrighteous decrees. Now you got them basically talking about that so-called Negroes cannot be in the military now. So all of this is furthermore to oppress and to come down with that great wrath upon you Jakes, man. And it's only going to get worse as the time progress, man. So bear with me. I'm finna get that precept. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. And it says, woe unto them, right? Woe unto them, meaning destruction unto them. Destruction unto Esau Edom. That decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And a lot of these things, we're going to go into that word grievousness, right? So I'm going to look up that word grievousness. Bear with me, brother. Salakia. Grievousness. Salakia, bear with me. All right. And that word grievousness means causing or character. Grievousness refers to the quality or state of being grievous, meaning causing or characterized by severe pain, suffering, or sorrow, or having very serious effects, man. And we see that all of the basically laws and things of that nature that DJT has passed since he's been in the office has been to affect you Jakes, man. Just look at everything that's happening, man. You got them again ready to take away the food stamps, which is wonderful. Like I said, I'm not complaining about none of these things, but I'm just allowing you brothers and sisters to see what time it is we're living in, right? But it says he's taking away food stamps, your Section 8, your welfare system, all of these different things he's taking away from. And who are the main people that you see on all of these assistances and programs and on these types of things, these what would you name them? These benefits that he's giving out, right? Who are the main ones that are, on these things? You got a lot of heathens on them as well. Don't get me wrong, but out of the main people in America that's on those things are your so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American men and women. You know, so that's why he's doing these things. And like I said, you go into that word grievousness, it means to suffer. So he's doing a lot of things that he knows is going to furthermore make you Jake suffer, man. And that's ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is doing, man, due to the rebellion of you so-called tribes, man, against the Lord, not taking heed to this word, not repenting, not turning back. So all of these things are going to ultimately usher in Jacob's trouble, man. And we seeing it happen day by day, man. It's only getting worse. The persecution and this devil is coming down with that great wrath slowly but surely, man. He hasn't fully came down with it, but we see the beginning stages of him coming into that, right? So, I'm going to get into this video we're going to watch. It's only 2 minutes long. So before I get into this video, I'm going to start off by saying this is under the 1976 Copyright Act. Fair use, fair use. I'm not getting paid for this video. It's only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, I'm going to get into it. Fair use.
And Corey, Robert Panton has been fighting for his life, essentially for the latter part of being here in New York City. A lot of it spent behind bars. And now tonight we have word from the federal courthouse here that after an emergency hearing, a federal judge has ruled that he stay in custody tonight. However, he has barred this person from deported until more information can be learned about this case.
Be a gross injustice can be reversed at any time.
Moments after recording this video, Robert Panton was detained by Immigration and Customs
Enforcement. And that's a Jake, man. You looking directly at him, man. You could tell that's a Jake. Look like he was born here in the States, man. But how is the ICE trying to detain him and deport him? Which telling you that he probably has family lineage that goes back to the Caribbean or the islands. But this is what's finna happen to a lot of you Jakes, man. Especially you Jakes out there that's in the world, you 2/3 that's getting caught up and doing all types of mischief, out there getting in trouble and doing things of that nature. Don't be surprised, man, if Esau snatch you up and put you in one of these vans, man, and that's what times we're about to be coming into, man,
The 59-year-old has been fighting deportation to Jamaica since 2020, when a judge ordered him released from prison after a radical reform, turning his life around in his 3 decades behind bars for a narcotics conviction.
See, that's how you know. And I'm going to get that Micah 2:10 because that precept is coming to mind here, but mind you just heard what they said. So they didn't deport him when Esau Edom, because we know a lot of our people, when they go to these prison systems, that Esau Edom is basically modern day slavery. And Esau is making a lot of money off of you Jakes when y'all in prison, man. So they didn't mind having them in prison, for 30 plus years to make that bread off of them. Then you get out after, doing all this time for them. And then they trying to deport you after they done got all that money off your back, you being incarcerated. So, this all goes into, the wicked being in rule, man, and ultimately when the wicked is in rule, man, our people are mourning, man. Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear of rule, the people mourn, man. And you seeing the results of that, that you could be in this country your entire life, man. Have, been born here, all of these different things. And it takes just one thing to happen. And then ultimately they're trying to, deport you and do all types of different unrighteous things to you. But hey, this is the times we're coming in, man. And these is what the Lord is allowing to happen, So I'm going to go to that Micah 2:10, and that's why you Jakes, man, you need to come out of Babylon the Great, man. Spiritually, mentally, physically. Not physically, of course, but you know what I mean? Spiritually, man, and spiritually and as well as mentally. You want to get your mind up out of this place, man, because this place is corrupted, man. This place is set up to oppress you. It's set up to destroy you, man. It's set up to basically take away your peace, take away your happiness. You wasn't put over here for that. The Lord got us over here under captivity due to the curses we're up under. So you got to realize that who your enemy is, man, and what his objective is for you, man. It's to further oppress you, to further have you in bondage, And if you're not of the Lord's elect, man, this devil is about to come down upon you with hailstorm, man. So this is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. And it said, arise ye and depart, right? out of this place, America, the ideologies, the beliefs, the false holidays that you serve, all of the things that comes with being a so-called American. You want to come up out of that lifestyle, out of that mindset, out of that spirit, right? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. And we're gonna look at that word polluted, right? And that word polluted goes into something that is contaminated. Salakia. Salakia, brothers. I had to type some in. Right? So that word contaminated goes into something that is polluted. Salakia, that word polluted goes into something that is contaminated with harmful or poisonous substances. And that's America for you. It tells you in the book of Psalms 23:4 that this place is the valley of the shadow of death. So this place is very wicked, very evil, very contaminated with wicked spirits and different philosophies and wines. And it's all due to the philosophies of Esau Edom, man. The dope that Esau Edom has in these communities running rampant. All of these things that this devil has set up in this world to furthermore oppress and have our people at a low state. That's why the Lord said, depart from this place, because it is wicked, man. So definitions for the word wicked, or synonyms will go to poison, foul, dirty, tainted. And this place is very much tainted, man. Infected, make filthy, right? Adulterate and taint. Because this place is very, polluted and wicked, but I'm going to get back to that Micah 2:10. And it says, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. And that's why you see a lot of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans out here. They're destroyed, man. That's why our people are through, man. That's why in order to survive in this society, a lot of our people, out here, the Lord's people, they're finding all type of things to cope, with what this devil's putting them under, this suffering that he has them. Well, it's ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but, the devil's doing it, of course, in the physical. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. He's the one that's doing these things, oppressing the Lord's people, though, And that's why, going back to what I was saying, why people feel like they got to do drugs and all types of things just to cope with the wickedness that this society is bringing upon them, man. Or the stress and things they're going through in this society, working a whole job your whole life and just to, retire and still don't have nothing, man. That's what happened when the wicked is bearing rule, man, But that's why the Lord said, arise ye and depart, man. You will never know that unless you depart from this place, unless you try to get away from this place in your spirit, man. That's why it's important to turn back to the Lord, man, while you still have time, man, because this place is coming down, man, And these persecutions that we see happening now, because this is a form of persecution amongst you jakes, man. But it's going to come. It's going to get worse, though. Like I said, this is only the beginning of the things that are to come, It's going to get way worse, So we're going to finish looking at this video. Like I said, it's only 2 minutes long. Like I said, it's a quick hitter. It ain't nothing too long. It's just something to, warn you brothers and sisters about, that, hey, they're coming after you jakes, man. You so-called Negroes, they coming after you too. They was going after the Northern Kingdom first. Now they're finna start making their mark on the Southern Kingdom, man. Going after you with these ICE programs. So if you got family and your bloodline goes back to the islands, even so-called African Americans, man, they might, they finna just be, I'm telling you, it's finna get bad out here, man.
Bars for a narcotics conviction during the war on drugs in the 90s.
Same day of my release, Immigration and Customs Enforcement took me into custody during the worst pandemic in our history.
For 10 months, he wallowed in a holding cell during the COVID pandemic. And then the grandfather was given a temporary reprieve and granted deferred action on his deportation. Then Tuesday, during an ICE check-in, he was taken into custody. Panton recorded this video in anticipation of his worst possible outcome.
I appreciate all my supporters and all people who's fighting for not only due process, but the proper consideration of being in this country.
Panton has lived in Harlem since age 4. Since his
You know what I'm saying? That's wild, man. But it goes to show you that this man is wicked, man. So I'm going to go to another precept, just furthermore proving that this man is the devil that the Bible talks about, man. That man, that Jake been here since he was 4 years old, man. He's basically an American citizen. So how come this place is wicked, man? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10, and it said, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So, man, the Lord is telling you, man, that no matter how this devil try to come, no matter how he try to portray himself, no matter, it tells you that his words were smoother than butter, man. And let me go get that precept. So he'll come in a way that seems right. He'll make you think him deporting all of these people is for the best interest. Oh, we're getting them out of here. They're bringing all types of DRUGSs in the country. So it's important for us to get them up out of here. When really everything that they project on the Lord's people that they're doing is what really this devil is doing. So let me get that precept. All right, this is Psalms chapter 55, verse 21, and it says, in the KJV, it said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, meaning Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He know how to talk up a storm, man. Just like in 2020, when he had all those people receive those vaccinations, thinking that it was something that was good for him, right? He smooth talked them into getting it, and that's what he's gonna smooth talk a lot of you jakes into taking that MOTB as well. When he implemented it, he's gonna make you think that it's something you can't live without, that you're gonna want this, and this, that, and the third. And a lot of people are going to take it, man. But that persecution is coming. Ultimately, if we see them doing this, just imagine in the times of Jacob's trouble, when they come up against the true men of the Lord for teaching his Bible and the persecution we going to face. It tells you in the Revelation 2 and 10, I might get that one as well. It said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, right? The heart meaning the lob, the mind. His mind is fixated on oppressing you jakes, man, making you jakes be under subjection of him, being under his control. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So that's letting you know that every time that this devil does something, he make you think that it's something for the better, but ultimately it's a malicious intent behind it. And they tell you that this man devised evil upon his bed. Let me get that. This man devised evil upon his bed, man. Lay you know that this devil can't even go to sleep until he have done some wicked, man, until he done passed some unrighteous decrees, or he done did something that's just, downright dirty, man. He can't even sleep at night. This is Micah 2:1, and it says, woe to them that devise iniquity, right? Sin upon sin, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And that's what these devils got the power to do, man. They got the power to oppress you. They got the power to do whatever it is they want to do unto you, to falsely imprison you, whatever it may be, man. They have that power, and this is what happened when you have a wicked ruler, man, that these things happen, man, So I'm also get that Revelation 2 and 10, and Lord's will this video be edifying. But, I'm going to get that Revelation 2 and 10. Right. And this is not talking about now, but this is ultimately going to be in the times and where we're to come into in that times of Jacob's trouble, when men and women don't take that MOTB. It's starting now on a small scale. It's letting you know that this devil is already getting prepared to come down with that great wrath, as I started the video off with earlier. Revelation 12 and 12. We're beginning to see the beginning stages of that. And it's going to increase. It's going to get worse. But this is Revelation 2 and 10. Ultimately what you see, what he got these people constricted at, the people that are so-called the ICE, that they're raiding up, they're putting them in basically prisons, man. He said that he was basically locked up for 10 months in the little thing due to the ICE stuff. So they're locking people up and everything. And this is basically what's going to happen to those men and women that don't take this MOTB, man. We're going to be rounded up just like you see the ICE going door to door, like with their little soldiers or whoever they are, and rounding up people and putting them in these little prison camps or putting them in these jails and holding places because they won't conform. This is what's going to happen to the brothers and sisters that don't take that mark, man. We're going to have to go through these same things. And ultimately, some of us will be deleted as well. But I'm going to read this, Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, shall cast some of you into prison, right? Which are those FEMA camps that he has set up for a lot of you jakes, man. He already done passed unrighteous decrees to where he can send you to Guantanamo Bay. He can send you to El Salvador prison. He's setting up a lot of different things, man. And this is all prepared to get ready to send you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans off, man. For those that don't obey this devil, right? And it says, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried, right? Proving that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the one in control of all these things. So if that will so happen, what you may go through, then just know that it's the Lord's will for that to happen, because nothing can happen without the Lord sanctioning it or allowing it to happen. So if that does be your lot, if you have to be one of these brothers that be in the FEMA camps, and you might have to deal with that getting your head cut off and being beheaded and things of that nature, because it's going to happen, man. These are the times we're about to come into. And it says, so basically that ye may be tried. And I said that word tried goes into a test. We're ultimately all going to be tested. And it said, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, right? Which is a period of time. Be thou faithful unto death. Letting you know that a lot of us are going to lose our lives in these times to come for not obeying this devil. And I will give thee a crown of life. So, these are the times in which we're coming into, man. That persecution is about to start against you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, especially with the men of the Lord that are teaching his word. So, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say with today's video. Like I said, it was just a quick hit. Lord's will, it was edifying to those who come across it. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.